Welcome to episode 1 of How to Create Nothing Ordinary. I'm Jenny Rausch, and this is all about what matters most in your space. You're about to do a project. It could be a big project, a little project. This is a place where size doesn't matter. It's still scary. We're gonna take the scare out of it for you. Here's 3 tips that we kind of use regularly to launch your new project. You matter most. I mean, it seems obvious, but a lot of people forget that. Like, where do you start? Where do you begin? You begin with you and your family and your wants and needs and desires. It's not about the latest trend or what your neighbor did. It's about you and your environment. I have a client, and one of the things we did is writing down all of the things that I think about adjective-wise when I'm around her. So we walked through things that to me were her personality and her family's personality, because when I first met her, they were so glaringly obvious to me. I wanted to make sure when we went from the before to the after, all of these things were still present because they were really fabulous things. So on the front of her folder, I wrote down some very critical words: humor, family, storage, livable, flexible, genuine, connection, durable, wise, non-scripted. And when I went through the project with her, every time I stumbled or we had to make a decision or we were trying to figure out what to do, we went back to the list. And if they resonated with the list, then we knew we were on the right track. So it's almost like a mission statement for the space. So you're making a mission statement by clarifying 10 words that describe you, your family, and the space that you want to create. It's very empowering. The second tip here is remember who you are. Your habits are really not going to change. So take note of how you live in the space and the things you do in the space. We want to make those things better, but we're not going to drastically change them. The space is not going to change you. I had a client, she thought she was going to become a gourmet cook. We put in a 36-inch spice drawer. A year later, I visited her. I opened up the spice drawer, and rolling around in that drawer was salt, pepper, and garlic salt. So yes, her life was enhanced because all the things they did in that space, there was more room for it, but she did not add new things to her life. So make sure you spend more time focusing on what it is that you do and how we can make those things better every day. Tip 3 is people before spaces. And by this I mean, it can be stressful in a project like this, and you tend to fight with your spouse over things when you're making decisions. Your house is a catalog of all these decisions that you made together, and when you look around later when the space is finished, you want to remember those decisions as being happy things, not conflict. It just makes it a more happy, enjoyable living space and experience. I have a good example. I watched a couple go through the process of building a house, and I don't want to say I was keeping score, but I was tallying how many decisions one got to make over the other, and it seemed like there was one really critical decision that the husband wanted. He really wanted a wood mantel fireplace, and the wife really wanted a limestone fireplace. And I watched, and it was a battle. And I felt like he did not really battle that much over anything else. And I think it was good to point out in that moment that maybe this is one that you should just take for the team and, you know, kind of see his side, because in the end, if you give a little, you get so much more. And so I just really want you guys to pay attention to the people around you and remember. And that goes for everyone, your designer, your plumber, your contractor. It's really, this is a be nice tip. Your new space is your space. It should feel and function like your house and your home. And that's the essence of Nothing Ordinary. We created a worksheet to help you get to your 10 adjectives, and that's your mission statement throughout, and it should help guide you in all of these decisions you're making and all the problems that you're stumbling over. So you can refer back to it if you're having an issue with a person or a design dilemma. Just go back to your list. I put humor on this list that I made for this client, and it didn't really show itself till the end when we were picking some of her accessories, but we picked funny sayings for things, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get these bear oven mitts, and she sent me a picture with her kids acting like bears in the kitchen. And So it's just, it all circles around, and that's what really does create your space that we always call nothing ordinary. I'm looking forward to sharing episode 2 with you. Stay tuned.